Have you ever paused to wonder, what is it that controls you? What is it that pulls at your thoughts, your emotions, your very sense of self so relentlessly, so incessantly that you lose touch with your very essence? In this whirlwind of thoughts, are you the one thinking? Or is it the mind itself that has taken over, running wild like an untamed beast, dictating your emotions, shaping your reality, and ultimately locking you away in a prison of your own making? The mind, this marvelous instrument of thought, is a gift. Yet, in its unchecked frenzy, it becomes a prison. We are not our thoughts, though we often forget this fundamental truth. Thoughts come and go like clouds in the sky, shifting, passing, often clouding the vastness of who we truly are. But the mind is not the sky. The mind is simply the weather, sometimes stormy, sometimes clear. It is but a temporary manifestation in the boundless ocean of your consciousness. When you allow your thoughts to dictate your every action, your every emotion, you become a mere puppet in the hands of your mind, unable to recognize that you are the one pulling the strings. The truth is, you are not the thinker. You are the awareness observing the thinker. And yet, we are often swept away by the tide of thoughts that come crashing in with the force of a storm. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Now notice, where are your thoughts taking you? Are you caught in a spiral of worry, regret, or anticipation? Do you feel as though your mind is constantly racing, unable to stop, unable to rest? In this moment, can you see the storm of your thoughts, the waves crashing upon the shore of your awareness, demanding your attention? And now, take another deep breath. What happens if you just stop for a moment? Can you witness these thoughts, not as yourself, but as mere clouds passing in the sky? Can you just for a second become the stillness between the thoughts? In ancient Chinese Taoism, this stillness is known as Wu Wei, the art of non-doing, of flowing with the natural rhythm of life. Taoism teaches us that when we allow the mind to act freely without restraint, it becomes like a raging river, tumultuous and uncontrolled. But when we come into harmony with the Tao, with the flow of life itself, the river becomes serene, its waters clear and still. In stillness, we find our true self, not the mind, but the space in which the mind exists. And yet, the mind has become an addiction for us, hasn't it? It is the constant chatter, the ceaseless thoughts that we turn to in times of uncertainty. We are conditioned to believe that more thinking, more analyzing, more planning will lead to peace. But peace is not found in the storm. Peace is found in the stillness beyond the storm. How often do you find yourself caught in the trap of overthinking, of dwelling on what you cannot change, or ruminating over past mistakes? How many times have you replayed a conversation, an experience, a veer in your mind, hoping that by thinking about it more, it will somehow make sense? And yet, does it ever make sense? Or does it only deepen the storm within? We are drowning in thoughts, all of us, yet few of us ever learn to swim. We become addicted to the chaos, believing that if we think hard enough, we will discover the truth, the answer, the solution. But the answer is not in the mind, it is in the silence, in the stillness. And this is the first lesson of overcoming the tyranny of thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You are the space between them. Take another moment to breathe. Imagine your mind as a vast ocean, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent. Can you imagine yourself as the sky above that ocean, vast, infinite, untouched by the waves below. Your thoughts, your worries, your fears, they are the waves. But you are the sky. The waves rise and they fall. They appear and they disappear. But the sky remains untouched. This is the essence of the Tao. It is the understanding that you are not the fluctuations of the mind, but the stillness within. When you realize this, when you step back from the mind's storm and observe it from a distance, you come into direct contact with your true self, calm, clear, and eternal. In the tradition of Taoism, the great philosopher Lao Tzu once said, "The mind is not the enemy, but the tempest that clouds the true self." What Lao Tzu understood is that the mind is not inherently bad. It is simply misunderstood. We give the mind power over us when we fail to recognize that we are the masters of our inner world. Just as a sailor learns to navigate through the waves, so too can we learn to navigate through the endless thoughts that arise within us. It is the art of being present, of letting go, of not forcing, of not trying to control. In this very moment, can you release your grip on the need to control your thoughts? Can you simply observe them as you would watch clouds floating by? Without judgment, without attachment, just watch. When you stop identifying with your thoughts, when you stop clinging to them, you step into a state of presence, of peace, of liberation. The tyranny of thoughts loses its power. You, as the observer, begin to recognize that you are beyond the mind's grasp. But of course, this is not easy. The mind has been trained, conditioned, and built up over a lifetime. To let go of control feels like stepping into the unknown, but the unknown is where the magic happens. The unknown is where the true self resides. So let us take a moment. Place your hand on your heart. Feel the rhythm of your breath. Feel the pulse of life that flows within you. And in this stillness, in this sacred space, ask yourself, who am I beyond my thoughts? This is the beginning of the journey into the stillness beyond the mind. The journey into the truth of who you are. As we continue our journey inward, let's explore the wisdom of the ages, the teachings that have long whispered to us from the depths of human history. In every culture, from ancient East to the West, there exists an understanding of the mind's tyranny and how it leads us away from the truth of who we are. In the Taoist tradition, the mind is often compared to water, restless and easily disturbed, but also capable of immense clarity when still. The ancient Chinese sages knew well the power of the mind to create illusions, to trap us in cycles of thought, and to keep us from experiencing the deeper reality of our existence. Lao Tzu, in his Tao Te Ching, speaks of the mind as something that can be mastered through gentleness, patience, and awareness. As he writes, "I have 3 treasures, guard and keep them. The first is deep love, the second is frugality, and the third is not to dare to be ahead of the world. Because of deep love, one is courageous. Because of frugality, one is generous. Because of not daring to be ahead of the world, one becomes the leader of the world." What Lao Tzu is pointing to is not just a way of living, but a way of being. Deep love, frugality, and patience in the face of the world's chaos are all qualities that arise when we transcend the mind's ceaseless churning. To truly be free of the mind's tyranny is to embrace these simple yet profound truths. The storm inside settles when we return to the heart, to a place of love and awareness, where the ego no longer demands to be in control. Think of the great sages, the mystics, the wise beings of every tradition. The Buddha, who sat in stillness beneath the Bodhi tree, not as a man, but as pure awareness. He faced the tempest of Mara's temptations, the storm of his own mind, and yet through deep meditation, he transcended it, recognizing that the mind is not the enemy, but a tool that can be used for liberation. It was in this stillness that Buddha discovered the nature of suffering, not as something external, but as a product of our attachment to our thoughts, our emotions, and our perceptions. As he teaches, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. Our thoughts shape our reality. And when we are not aware of them, they shape it unconsciously, pulling us into cycles of pain, fear, and disconnection. But when we gain mastery over the mind, when we learn to observe it without attachment, suffering loses its hold on us. It is this same wisdom that we find in the mystical teachings of the great Christian mystic, Meister Eckhart. In his sermons, Eckhart speaks of the need to free the soul from the tyranny of thoughts, to realize that the true self is not bound by the thinking mind, but is an eternal spark of divine presence. Eckhart teaches, the soul is like a wild animal. It is so caught up in the world of thoughts and desires that it cannot hear the whisper of its true self. This echoes the teachings of Taoism and Buddhism. The mind, Eckhart says, is like an untamed creature that constantly seeks to distract us from our true nature. And it is only when we step into the silence of our being, through meditation, through contemplation, that we begin to hear the quiet yet powerful voice of our soul. But you may wonder, why does the mind exert such control over us? Why do we so often feel like we are slaves to our thoughts? It is because of fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of what lies beyond the mind. The mind, this thinking, rational machine, is comfortable. It gives us a sense of control, a sense of safety, but it is also a prison. And it is this very prison that holds us captive from experiencing the freedom that comes from living as our true selves. Fear has its roots deep in the mind. It is the result of attachment to ideas, to identities, to stories we have told ourselves over lifetimes. In the tradition of the ancient Egyptians, the soul was seen as being weighed by the feather of Ma'at, the feather representing truth and justice. When a soul's heart was heavy with attachment, it could not pass into the afterlife. It was too burdened by the weight of its own thoughts. But when the heart was light, free from attachment, it could soar beyond the physical realm, united with the divine. This metaphor is deeply reflective of our inner world today. How often do we allow our minds to weigh us down with worry, anxiety, and fear? These are the chains that bind us to the storm, keeping us from experiencing the stillness that is our birthright. The ancient teachings, from the Tao to the Egyptians to the Buddha, point us in the same direction. We must learn to release the grip the mind has over us. We must learn to observe the thoughts, to let them pass like clouds in the sky, and to return to the eternal truth that lies beyond them. But this is not an easy path. The mind is cunning. It will find ways to reassert its dominance, even in the most serene moments. It is a lifelong practice, this art of releasing attachment, but it is in the releasing, the letting go of the need to control, the need to define, the need to think, that we find our true freedom. And this freedom is the gateway to the peace that lies at the core of our being. Let us take a moment to reflect. Close your eyes again, take a deep breath in. Now, as you exhale, feel the tension in your body dissolve. Allow your thoughts to gently drift by, like leaves floating on a river. No need to chase them, no need to grasp them. Just let them pass. In this moment, can you simply be, without the need to think, to plan, to act? Can you rest in the stillness that lies beyond the thoughts? This is the space of true freedom, where the mind no longer has dominion over you. This is the space where you can begin to hear the whisper of your soul, the voice that has always been there, beneath the surface of the storm. But how do we remain in this space of stillness, in a world that constantly pulls us back into the storm of thoughts? The answer, dear traveler, lies in our daily practice. It lies in returning to the truth again and again, in the small moments and in the grand moments. We must keep coming back to the present moment, to the breath, to the stillness beneath the noise. The world will always try to pull us back into the storm, but we must remember, the sky is always clear.
Now, dear traveler, we stand at the threshold of something extraordinary. You have journeyed through the mind's storm, explored the tyranny of thought, and glimpsed the truth that lies beyond it. You have heard the ancient wisdom, felt the weight of the mind's endless chatter, and learned to release its grip, just as one would let go of an old, worn-out garment. But the journey does not end here. It is only the beginning. In this moment, you stand free, free from the chains of the past, free from the weight of your own thoughts, free from the illusions that have held you in a prison of your own creation. This freedom is not something to be sought. It is something to be recognized. It has always been there, beneath the surface of the mind's storm, waiting for you to remember. In the Taoist tradition, there is a concept known as Tyranny, translated as naturalness or spontaneity. It refers to a state of being where one is in harmony with the flow of life, without resistance, without force. It is the state of being that arises when we no longer fight against the current of life, but simply flow with it. And this is the true nature of the self, not a collection of thoughts, not a set of identities, but a pure, unencumbered presence. But to embody this naturalness, to live in this state of inner peace, is a practice. It is not a one-time revelation, but a continuous unfolding, a perpetual return to the present moment. The storm will always rise in the mind, but you, as the observer, will learn to remain steady, like a great mountain that cannot be moved by the winds below. And so, let us revisit the heart of the teaching. In every moment, there is the opportunity to return to the stillness, to the space of pure awareness. But how do we return? How do we anchor ourselves in this peace amidst the chaos of the world? The answer, dear one, lies in the breath. The breath is the bridge between the body and the mind, between the present moment and eternity. It is always with you, steady and constant, and it is in the breath that you will find the doorway to stillness. The ancient wisdom of Taoism teaches that the breath is the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe. In the practice of Qigong, a spiritual discipline deeply rooted in Taoist teachings, breathing is used not only to connect the body and mind, but to awaken the life force, the qi that flows within us all. When you breathe with intention, with mindfulness, you return to your center. You reconnect with the divine essence within. You release the grip of thought and drop into the present moment, where everything is alive, whole, and complete. The breath becomes a meditation, a prayer, a dance with the universe itself. Let us take a moment now. Place your hand on your chest. Feel the rhythm of your breath, gentle, steady, constant. Breathe in deeply,
allowing the air to fill your lungs. As you exhale, let go of the tension, the thoughts, the burdens that you've been carrying. With each breath, feel yourself becoming lighter, freer, more present. Now, as you breathe, imagine that with every inhale, you are breathing in pure, vibrant energy, the essence of life itself. And with each exhale, you release everything that no longer serves you. Take a moment to be in this space. Let go of the need to think, let go of the need to do. Simply be. In this stillness, in this space between the thoughts, you are no longer defined by your mind. You are the infinite, eternal witness to the mind. You are the sky, and the thoughts are but passing clouds. And as you breathe, remember this: you are always free. No matter how turbulent the world around you becomes, you can return to the stillness within. No matter how loud the mind grows, you can find peace in the silence between the thoughts. This is your true power, the power to return to the present moment, to the breath, to the stillness. In this space you are whole, in this space you are complete, in this space you are the eternal presence of love, of light, of peace. But this peace, this freedom, is not something to be found in the future. It is not something to be pursued. It is already here, in every breath, in every moment of stillness. It is always with you. You have only to remember. Remember that you are not the mind, you are not your thoughts. You are the space in which the thoughts arise. You are the silence that holds them. You are the calm beneath the storm. As you continue your journey through life, let these words guide you. I am the stillness that lies beneath the thoughts. I am the sky that holds the storm. I am free. With every breath, you return to this truth. With every moment, you come closer to the heart of your true self. You are not lost. You never were. You are here. You are now. You are free.
Mantra to close. I am the stillness beneath the storm. I am the peace in the chaos. I am the eternal presence of love and light.